Kim Souza, Supply Side Digital. I'm here with Colby Beland, Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Casestack. Colby's going to share his insights with us on Walmart's latest supply chain initiative, OTIF, or On Time in Full. Why don't you start out telling us what you heard from the recent Supplier Growth Forum that Walmart held with its suppliers?
Starting in week 10, the new OTIF baselines are going to change again.
Week 10 is?
Week 10 is March 31st and after, so basically April 1st.
Just coming up.
Just think April 1st.
Okay.
Just around the corner, 45 days or so. Suppliers are going to, a full truckload supplier is going to have an 85% minimum OTIF objective.
Right.
If they fail to meet that 85%, they'll be fined 3% of cost of goods. LTL carriers, the baseline for LTL carriers has been moved up to 50% starting April 1st and capped at 85%. So pretty interesting. What becomes really interesting is for a supplier that ships both LTL and full truckload, meaning they have multiple vendor ID numbers. Some vendor ID numbers move on full truckload, some vendor ID numbers move on LTL.
Okay.
They get blended.
Interesting.
So say your 75% of your cases move as full truckload and 25% of your cases move as LTL. They blend that. So your OTIF baseline overall score for LTL could get raised
much higher
very quickly. So companies, where that really I think is going to impact suppliers is the large suppliers that are the Procter & Gamble's, the Clorox's, the ConAgras of the world that are already shipping full truckload, but they have a few brands that are shipping LTL. Those baselines for those LTL OTIF scores are going to get raised because of their full truckload performance and making it more challenging or difficult for them to continue to ship LTL and get those type of OTIF scores.
So the concern on suppliers' behalf is warranted. We know that there are some challenges without the realm of control of anyone, and that's freight rates, capacity constraints in trucking. Talk to us a little bit about how that is impacting the cost of implementing OTIF.
Well, the capacity is literally the $1 million question, and maybe multi-billion dollar question in the market right now. It is a carrier's market. Double-digit freight increases year over year, not unexpected for any provider out there, including Walmart.
Right.
Their own costs. So capacity is extremely tight. It's due to multiple reasons. The ELD, electronic logging device, went into effect in December. It's had a much larger impact than people even thought it was going to have. People that were predicting it was going to be an issue, the capacity constraints are even tighter than they thought.
And the root of this is the lack of drivers.
Yes.
We know oil prices have come back up and there's more rigs, more freight being devoted to the rigs.
Yep.
That also takes some capacity out of the system. So
unemployment's at an all-time low, so
it's hard to get drivers recruited.
Yep.
And a lot of the young folks today don't want to sit in a seat and drive a truck nonstop.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about Walmart sees this. We know Walmart's missed on earnings because of their own transportation costs were more than they thought. Walmart sees this and they're working on some tools for suppliers. They made some big promises recently to suppliers. Talk about some of the things that they promised to do for suppliers as they work on this journey to get to their OTIF goals.
Sure. One of the big things that they're talking about now is going to a single PO for all 42 DCs.
Purchase order.
A single purchase order. So, and then at time of giving the purchase order, already having the appointment in Retail Link for that purchase order.
Because one of the big problems suppliers have now is getting an appointment to get their truck into the window
on the day that it's
on the
due.
day that they're supposed to deliver, and if they don't get it in the window, then they're fined at 3%.
Exactly. So that change, it's primarily for the collect suppliers or the center point suppliers.
Right.
So that's a big change that's coming that will help Walmart and the suppliers improve the OTIF score. The on-shelf availability ultimately is what it's about for the consumer. And it's exciting. when it comes. To my knowledge, there's no formal date. I think they have some beta tests going on currently,
so they're going to kind of expedite that process of getting the appointment to deliver. That's one thing they're doing. Yep. Also, talk to us a little bit about this, what someone who is less than truckload can do if they find themselves 45 days out and still a long way from the 50% goal. What are some things that they can do to ensure that they meet the 55 or perhaps even be best in class?
Well, those that aren't, those that haven't been working on this are way behind the 8 ball, but the challenge is LTL carriers by design are not set up to hit a single day.
Understand.
And a large portion of the LTL suppliers have single day OTA MABD requirements. So what I mean by an LTL carrier not being set up to do that is the appointment process. An LTL carrier is typically not going to schedule the delivery appointment until it arrives at the delivering terminal. So if it arrives today and the PO is due tomorrow and the carrier goes into Retail Link to schedule the appointment and there are no appointments available tomorrow, there's no way you can do that. So if that gets replicated more than twice across the 42 DCs in a single week, you're out of compliance. So very difficult. So one of the solutions out there is third-party consolidation. And third-party consolidation is basically taking multiple LTL suppliers, consolidating them at a mixing center to create full truckloads out to the DCs. So the LTL supplier is the supplier that's shipping LTL, the product is moving in a full truckload from that center point or mixing center, but it's in a prepaid model. And what happens is the way the replenishment system works, all the POs for those suppliers are cut on the same day. They go to the third-party consolidator. The third-party consolidator is able to appoint those POs the day that they're dropped. And then, so 8 to 10 days advance of arriving at the DC, they're already appointed in Retail Link. So we're basically guaranteeing the appointment that we're going to deliver, be able to deliver on the day that it's due.
And a number, I know Casestack does this. There are a number of other companies who provide consolidation. That is an option for some of these collect LTL suppliers.
We convert a fairly significant portion, I'd say over 0.25% of our customers on an annual basis convert from collect to prepaid.
And with freight rates moving up, it doesn't cost anything to check, right? I mean, if you are out of compliance and you know you've got to get there, why not check with a third-party consolidator to see, because the cost could be lower than what they expect.
Well, you mentioned best in class, right? So in a category, you want to be the best, so the next line review, your buyer or your replenishment manager is looking at that score going, who's best in class? And consolidation, our requirement is 85%. So we were already performing above the 85% threshold for fiscal year 18, so we're capped at 85%. So an LTL carrier supplier is going to go from 30s, 40s, 50s to
85%. That puts them best in class, which looks good on your scorecard. So the bottom line here is trucking capacity is not going to get any better anytime soon. We know that. Freight rates are going up across the board. It's going to cost all suppliers more to send everything, even Walmart. But Walmart is standing by these goals. They have extended the 98% or 95% final goal. They haven't given us a deadline on that, but they are sticking with raising the standard. They've just done it, and they're going to continue to raise it. Suppliers have to get on board. Any thoughts for them in this? Final thoughts for them in this?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going away.
No,
it's here. It's here to stay. It's not going away. Walmart, in order to compete, it's a flow initiative. It's about ensuring that the product's on the shelf without having to spend any more investment in their distribution center networks, because they want to invest in e-commerce.
Right, and they need to.
Right. So how do they do that? They flow it more efficiently. and they don't have to sit on as much inventory. The inventory reductions is where Walmart financially is getting closer to their numbers, right?
They are.
So that flow to the DC and then to the shelf is very important. And the only way that they get there is for the supplier, for Walmart, for their providers to get to that 95%. So that's on the product, the product's on the shelf when the consumer gets there.
Other retailers have already done this.
Absolutely. Walmart is not the bad guy here. Target, when Walmart announced at the Growth Forum of 17 that they were talking about OTIF, Target came out the next month and went live what they call single day arrival, SDA, single day arrival at Target. That came out right after Walmart announced OTIF originally at the Growth Summit, not last year, but actually in 16. I said 17, but in 16, when Walmart announced it, Target came out with single day arrival. When Walmart went live with OTIF, like actual being
back in the
75 and 33 back in August, Kroger went live with ORAD, stands for Original Requested Arrival Date.
Okay.
So Kroger, Target, Walmart, the largest retailers basically in North America, they all have these programs. And for that matter, Walgreens and CVS, the larger drug chains, they have what they call OTFR, on-time fill rate. And one of them is actually using OTIF, on time in full. So all the retailers are going to it. The landscape in the retail industry has changed, and it's changing because of the omni-channel and everybody trying to figure out how to do it. But it's all about flow. Everybody thinks that this is a penalty to make revenues for the retailer. It's not really what it's about.
It's about getting the product on the shelf.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Colby, for sharing your
Appreciate the
insight.
opportunity.
Sure.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.